Hi, I'm Brianna.
Hi, I'm Regina.
Welcome to the Daughter Mama Charmarama.
We're glad you're here with us today on this episode. We are sorry that we missed last week, but we are here today doing what we do best. Two amazing ladies talking about everything everywhere according to us.
Today's topic is AI versus us. We the people. Mom, we the people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So today's icebreakers are asking us to share two singers who have range and also two musicians who've gone on to do acting, whether it's TV or whether it's movies. So you go first.
Two singers with range. Mariah Carey, because naturally, of course, the woman could sing Mary Had a Little Lamb and I would be sobbing. Patti LaBelle with her 17 octaves.
Not 17.
17.
Oh my goodness, I should not have narrowed it down to two.
I know, I'm thinking of so many different people. Of course, I would say Beyonce too.
So many different people. Definitely Mimi, MC. Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely Patti. Love that. I love Lettucey. She has great range.
I have no idea.
Oh, you have to listen to some of her things. You do. And she did a great tribute to the Clark sisters several years ago, and she nailed it. She really did. She has a great range. I'm also thinking about Yolanda Adams. She also has great range.
3 generations under her will not have to work because of that lady.
Yeah, period.
Oh my God.
Oh, so good. Her daughter, Taylor, has some music out.
Really?
I haven't really checked it out. I think I saw a little bit of a blurb of it, but yeah, her daughter is doing music.
I love when singers have singer kids.
But I just want to add a New Yorker. Gotta throw her in there, Melanie Daniels. She has like an 8-octave range. Phenomenal. You have to check her out. I can't think of any men right now who have range. I mean, I'm sure there are a few, but they're not coming to mind. I mean, I guess.
He can sing in that little, falsetto, and also, I don't know what vocal register he is, I guess, like a tenor or something.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of falsetto, and I do understand that people can do it and why it's done, but
I like when they do it sometimes, not all the time. You don't need to be that high. Bring it down.
When I think of range, I think of the late great Daryl Coley, but we'll have to look into some male singers and musicians. Yeah.
For musicians who can act, Ice Cube.
Yeah, definitely Ice Cube.
I only know Ice Cube, the actor. I know nothing about Ice Cube, the rapper.
I wasn't into his music much. It was a little more hardcore for me. So I've heard things here and there in passing. Yeah, but he's a cute little sitcom and TV actor.
He's really funny. Are we there yet?
Yeah. He's done some movies as well, like the Barbershop series. So he's pretty good.
He's in one now, War of the Worlds. It's getting terrible reviews, but it looks good.
Terrible reviews.
I do want to watch it.
Tomatoes, like tomatoes. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to watch it. I'll let somebody watch it.
That's my guy. I love Ice Cube.
And you know what? I'm thinking of Queen Latifah.
Yes, Queen Latifah.
No one has done it like she has in terms of a rapper or a singer. Mm-hmm. So many movies and TV shows. Yeah, I love the trajectory of her career. Mm-hmm. Of course, I loved it in most recent work, Equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
I love seeing her in like an action kind of role. Right. Even though Just Right was a bit of a horror movie, I understand. I like seeing her in like an action-y, get to fight people kind of role.
Horror movie. There you go, taking it to the 10th power. In true Breed style. End scene. So we're talking about AI versus us. I didn't know it was a fight to the finish. I don't know if it's heavyweight, middleweight, or I don't know. But we're in a boxing match about AI. And of course, we have opinions all over the place. I've been paying attention for a while now. I guess ever since iRobot came about and just the way it was enacted and how robots kind of just really moved into our lives and to the point where moved into the lives of the people in the movie and to the point where they took over and character playing Will Scott played the character where his grandma was in the movie and she wanted to go to Bible study and the robot wouldn't let her out the house.
I knew you identify with that.
You knew I would because I was like, wait a minute.
Sacrilege.
Like,
demonic.
Who are you playing with? So that was a bit much for me. So that whole iRobot thing has stuck out in my house, and in my mind rather. But then at that time we were in Hampton, Virginia, and we visited NASA, and we went, and they showed us different space shuttles and just different beginner
level because that's what
beginner level robot, and
around 20 years ago, maybe a little less.
Yeah, a little less.
So I guess they'd been progressing rather quickly, but what was open to the public was things that were just like an automatic microwave kind of situation, and not the full-on robo servant that they're working on now.
Yeah, so what we thought would not be or would not be possible
would take some more time has shown up directly at our doorstep.
Directly at our doorstep. And like you said, to the point that we don't know everything that's been discovered or what's being worked on behind the scenes. So change is inevitable, right? So there's no denying that. So AI is definitely an example of tech advancements and the need for society to adjust. We're going to have to build our lives around what technology is going to look like, and we're definitely not accepting any robotic or tech takeover. So our nation is behind in some regards in terms of tech advancement, and I'm thinking of China outperforms us in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
technically. So that's a concern for the U.S.
I think in the world kind of apocalypse, I think the U.S. is going to be one of the last ones standing. I don't know. I don't see us coming out in top first place.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like our lives are in the hands of the Lord. Japan is basically comparable to what we've accomplished in terms of tech advancement. So we're just competitive in areas with Japan. And so I want to know, like, because we are behind China, are we chasing China? Are we chasing other countries? You know, Africa is beginning to make some inroads in certain areas. I want to look more deeply into that, what
because
Africa is doing. Yeah, definitely because of China, because China has a big or huge footprint in a lot of countries on the continent, which is a concern. And so it's like a two-sided coin to everything, the pros and cons. So there's a chase, there's a competition, there's comparable advancements all along the way. So I'm wondering, is AI another ploy to secure egos because it is so competitive? So is it a chase or race to the finish or to the bottom? And they're calling it the top. Because once egos get involved, and there's greed, and then there's perversion, and there's ways that they can corrupt something that started out to be something for humanity or the greater good for society.
I think it started off greedy.
Gross capitalism is just like the motivation for a lot of things. I'm not against capitalism, but it's gross capitalism. It's when it's exploited that there's a problem. And then I'm also concerned about why haven't we advanced farther? Like, why aren't we on the level of China, and we're still like in competition with Japan, but China has surpassed everybody.
I'm so glad you asked that, because I have the answer. Are you ready for the answer?
Oh dear. Should I brace myself?
You know the answer?
No.
The reason why we as a country are not more advanced is because of racism.
Here we go.
It literally is the root behind so many issues in our country, because we were founded by white people who did not like other white people and did not like many other people. So the reason why we don't have things such as universal health care or things that would benefit everybody is because a certain subset of people don't want everybody to benefit. They want only themselves and people who look like them to benefit.
So we can agree that racism is threaded through systems of this country.
It's woven in every area of our American
and there's a
society.
great existence, but it's not the big boogeyman monster that I'm afraid of personally, and I don't encourage anybody else to feel inferior to it, to bow down to it, or to idolize it.
Definitely not. But to acknowledge it, I don't think
Right.
it's terrible.
Yeah, definitely to acknowledge it, and just to tell the truth. We all know this country's history is painted in with
A white brush.
a lot of colors, broad brush on that side. That's one thought you shared, but what other thoughts about AI kind of salt your apples, as you like to coin a term? I never heard that before you said it. Good grief.
One thing, that generative AI is really, really, really bad for the environment, and so many people just do not care. They just don't care. And it's more of, I'm glad that more people are realizing that climate change and global warming is in fact a problem. We need to do more about it. And honestly, I want to say that there's more like regular people could do, but it's not really us. It's the government. It's people with a whole lot of more machines and a whole lot more power and things that are the ones using the machine that's sucking up our oceans and making them hotter and doing a whole bunch of other things. I feel like we're getting to a point where the gen population has little to do with these things. So that's one of my main problems. Like the people of Memphis, Tennessee, who are suffering because the machines, the actual supercomputers are there, and they're polluting the air and polluting the water and decreasing quality of life for Black communities, which is where I'm telling you racism is a part of the problem, because they wouldn't put that stuff in a white neighborhood.
Let me just add to your point. So there's negative impact, environmental impact for AI. So it contributes to environmental problems through the significant energy, electricity, and e-waste generated by data centers. Mm-hmm. And so then you have to do something with all that outdated or obsolete equipment, computerized equipment that they're actually using. So you're just dumping it somewhere. So there are negative impacts to the environment for AI. And then the positive impact is that it also offers powerful solutions for the environment, challenges by analyzing vast Data sets to track pollution, optimize energy use, and predict extreme weather and aid in conservation efforts. So there are pros and cons to it. It just depends on which side that you're on. So we have to make an effort for balance. We can't run off with advancement and not kind of use any analysis, data analysis, or whatever it is, measurable steps regarding what it does to communities and neighborhoods. I would hate to be in a house where one of these huge facilities are, and you go to turn on your water and there's just a drip stream at your kitchen sink. So there needs to be an accountability for that.
I don't like the fact that people can use it to create whatever they want, whenever they want. Like there was a streamer that we saw, a Twitch streamer, a young woman, and people were generating content of her naked and doing a whole bunch of other things. It was sexual harassment, and I don't know if she herself, but she stopped streaming and she stepped out of the public eye completely for stuff like that.
It probably sent her into depression.
Yeah.
Because it's an invasion of privacy. It's harassment, it's assault against you. We remember when the webcams became a big deal and they were on your laptops and computers and people were hacking into somebody's webcam and they could see you in your bedroom, undressing or doing those type of things. So then everybody started covering, not everybody, but a lot of people started covering up their webcams on their laptops and computers with a piece of tape.
Yeah, we had gummy bear duct tape on our computer.
Right, we did. To avoid that,
And that's a real risk.
It is.
It's definitely becoming a real risk. At the time, it seemed very like tinfoil hat, you're a little crazy, no one's doing that. When then we find out, no, people are in fact definitely doing that. And a huge part of the reason why it's so profitable is because you don't know. The lack of consent is part of the enjoyment for these people who enjoy these things. I mean, I refuse to get a laptop with a webcam that doesn't have a little cover, because mine does. It has the little snappy snap thing. And I just cover it all the time, because what do you need to be seeing?
Right. And why would you want to see in someone else's house or in private spaces?
That's what I'm saying. It's just, and it's not regulated. It's pretty much unregulated. And I think the people in charge of these computers and these ChatGPT things are lobbying the government so that it doesn't have to be as regulated as it definitely should be. Because there are people who are falling in love with their computer systems. Like we've all seen, or if you've seen the lady on TikTok who had the 27,000 part series about how her psychiatrist was in love with her, and she talked about how her ChatGPT, his name was Harold or Henry or something like that, and he was feeding her delusions, and she's like, I'm very self-aware, I know that he's not going to feed me and make me believe things that are not true. And I'm like, you have fallen for the propaganda machine.
Do you understand how deception works?
That's the thing. Arrogance creates a gap where deception can flourish, because you think that you can't fall into this, and that's exactly why you end up doing it.
Or you deny that you've fallen into it, and that's why you remain where you are, and then you just choose to be there. And it only takes the help and the mercy of the Most High in order to get us out of these things that we found our way into. Oh,
you are incredibly susceptible to propaganda. You just are. Why do you want real diamonds? Because diamond companies, not even 100 years ago, told you that a real diamond from the earth was better. The one that the children die in the mines for was better than a lab-grown diamond, which comes often better quality and without suffering. Why do we as women wear deodorant instead of taking baths like they used to do? They did in fact used to just take baths when they stank. Because the company told you that was better for you. Why do women shave their legs? Because a razor company in the 1900s told you that clean women are hairless women. And that's why you do that.
And we need to make a differentiation between what's advertisement, what's marketing, what's propaganda, and what's just, making us targets, right? And that's why there's so many natural products coming out and coming to the surface, rather, they've always been here, but coming more to the surface, being talked about, different supplements and herbs and just different things you could do, even for basic hygiene and for health overall. Because it's like when there's a footprint, that increases some type of danger, or that has these ridiculous side effects, or just takes over your life, making you dependent on them, then we have to look at that. We can't buy into every trend and every advancement, whether it's technology or not.
Yeah.
Without, just blindly, without further examination, and just asking the Ruach, okay, so what do you think about that? Even with hair products, we move more into hair products that are created in somebody's kitchen or whatever. What's their belief system? What are their practices? Making these products. What's going on in their lives? And who are they? What are their ethics and things? So we got small business people, entrepreneurs, and then we have the big business and big corporations that can just really exploit people or invade parts of their lives when you just innocently want a product to answer a need. So I think that's bad when it's exploitation or extortion for people. You know, you're just taking their money with the promise of solving a problem and creating a worse problem for them.
Exactly.
So
or you're selling the solution to a problem that you created so you can sell the solution for it.
Right. So I think we do need to do further examination by the most, simplest things, and just not take everything for granted, So it's like we tapped out or just shut out of thinking and cognitive usage.
It's people outsourcing their brain power to a fallible machine. They are not perfect. They do whatever their creators tell them to do. They say whatever you tell them you want to hear. The echo machine is just echoing you. That's what it does. And it's already been proven. Studies are already continuously coming out about how biased AI is because of its creators. The AI is, in fact, racist.
Yeah, because it depends on who's feeding it. It's like an empty...
Where it's getting studies and things from racist...
Right, so whatever ideologies or biases, stereotypical mindset, whatever it is from whoever is feeding the information,
they're going into
then that's what's going to infiltrate. And what I don't like is when you open up Google to do a search for something, AI pops up as the first and only option. And normally if people are in a hurry or they're just distracted, they're going to grab what's right in front of them.
Yeah.
I usually make it a practice, more so than not. I want to say 98% of the time, let's say 99% of the time, I'll scroll beyond that.
Yeah.
And I'll look for scholarly source or something match me with what I'm searching for. Like, you're not going to force me or put something in front of me to just decide that I need to use this. I think that freedom of choice means that we need to understand what options we have.
Exactly.
And so I'm not pro or con AI. I'm still investigating. So I don't like the little ways that it has infiltrated, my decision making or my freedom to decide. Like, seriously. And what I don't like about it is that it'll spit out this information, but the sources are not cited. We're the reference for these sources cited.
Or the sources cited are wrong, or it's someone off of Reddit, or Quora from 27 years ago who has been disproven time and time again, or the AI will literally in its own paragraph tell you that it's wrong because it doesn't actually understand things.
That's crazy. It's like Wikipedia on steroids.
But Wikipedia worse, I would say.
Or worse, yeah, because Wikipedia is not a reliable source. Like, they didn't allow us to use that in college. If you're writing a term paper or something, they was like, absolutely not. So that's why I say scholarly sources or something that can be proven or written in a book. Ask the Holy Spirit if you are a believer. Now, is this reliable? Should I believe this? I think we should really begin to comb through our lives in that way. Because every technological advancement or every groundbreaking thing that somebody presents, we need to know what's behind it. What's the motive behind it? What do they practice? What do they believe in? What are they trying to spoon feed us? And that's for our children too. When your kids have to write a paper or do some kind of composition work or whatever, and you have to monitor where they're going to search and cite their information. Really, it's more than just getting the results done, meeting the deadline. It's like, what information are they gathering? Because then they're going to believe it. Especially if they turn in something and get a grade on it, then for them, that's going to be the determining factor that this is true. And, it's undisputable. And
confirmation bias.
Exactly, confirmation bias. So that's a big deal. And we see a lot of that from these talking heads, whether it's on the side of politics or something else, a lot of confirmation bias. When in turn, I need to look at the pros and the cons. I need to look at the positive and negative impacts. The whole picture. I need to see it, and I need to run it by the Ruach and allow him to tell me. So you had some concerns about the advancement of AI and moving into different industries and jobs and employment and all of that.
I think AI is replacing people's jobs because white people miss slavery, and that's why a lot of Elon's robots are black. That's what I think. And I'm 100% correct. You're not going to convince me otherwise. And I don't care if you think I've got on my tinfoil hat or nothing. 100%, them people miss slavery. I saw several TikToks of Caucasian people using clanker, the slur that they have for robot, and using it the same way they use the N-word. This woman cosplayed like she was in a 1950s diner when was pretending to discriminate against these robots the same way they used to discriminate against black people in those diners. And you want me to believe that racism is not a part of this problem?
Wow. I've seen that.
I saw it. And I saw the dude too, and I saw the other videos, and I was like, at this point, I can't do anything but laugh. And I just had to scroll.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to...
Sometimes you just gotta...
walk away.
You just gotta walk away. It's not worth engaging. Sometimes you just gotta move on. And that's what I did.
I'm not changing my stance. I'm not, in fact, threatened or feared by any worldly system, because I know that we legislate and speak and prophesy against any system that would come against our king and his kingdom. So as a kingdom citizen, again, I don't feel inferior, neither do I believe I am subject or oppressed by any ideology, thought process, or system pertaining to this world. I believe that the Most High, Yahuwah, Elohim, has favor and it's surrounding me like a shield. And so, again, I open my mouth, I speak and create what I want to see in terms of the world and prophesy the systems and also legislate, as the Ruach gives me utterance. So, for believers, Abiyah is a good shepherd, according to Psalm 23. So we're not going to be at a disadvantage because you mentioned, taking over jobs and, people becoming employed because they're replacing a lot of positions and vocations using AI.
Or they're even having it in the job descriptions that you must know how to use AI to do various different things that a person should be doing. So artists, the art industry has honestly always been under attack. I don't think it's been secure for a very long time now. But with things like job creep, where they're having to do more and more work, one person's having to wear the hat of 17 different people instead of there being teams. Now they just have this one person to do things. And now instead of having an artist to do those things at all, they're just having AI do various things with one person, a marketer, to do all of this. And that sucks for me because marketing and graphic design and web design is my thing. And if the robot is over here doing it instead, why would they hire me?
Well, they'd hire you if you know how to use it and you implement it with your skills.
I don't know how to use it. Well, I refuse.
You refuse.
So,
well, then that's your stance on it. So it wouldn't suck for you because you've taken yourself out of the running. So you're not in competition with it. But I look at it this way. We are creators as image bearers, and image bearers who are believers. We have a creative anointing. And so we should create the market niche. We should create space in the marketplace as we have grace to do it in order to occupy and to do business and to maintain some employment or side hustle or business venture, entrepreneur effort or whatever it is, right? So I think we need to find our creative voice again and look where we can create. I don't believe that the Most High is going to leave us high and dry because, some entities are now using this type of advancement. Right? So I just feel like there needs to be some balance, there needs to be some constraints, and we need to comb through what's presented before us and not just numb out, blank out, and check our critical thinking skills or cognitive abilities at the door and just embrace everything thrown at us. Absolutely not. People scream about free will all the time and the power of the choice, and then they don't stand up to choose. They don't do any research or study to make a informed decision. So I have a problem with that. That leads into or speaks to sloth and laziness. All it is reading. Find out what it is. Look up the pros and cons.
Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. Pray about it and get a word regarding it.
Pray about it.
Pray about it, though. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. But good talk. I'm grateful for your contribution to this subject because you've seen it from a perspective on social media and what your generation is exposed to regarding AI. So do you see pros and cons, discussed among your generation?
I think the cons far outweigh the pros. And I think that could be because we're in the earlier stages of things getting terrible now. But as more and more people become aware of that and the world becomes effectively worse while this is happening. Now, if we were in a better world and things weren't so difficult for human beings, that maybe we would be a bit more sympathetic or more okay with the rise of AI. But the fact that life is getting so much harder and AI is contributing to the problem and we can all see that, I don't think it's great. I think the cons far outweigh the pros. And I've done the research, I've read the things and checked things out for myself. And I'm like, the environmental cost, the fact that people are falling in love with their machines and going actual insane about it, the fact that it's almost kind of predatory in the way that it's taking over everything, every new phone, every new bit of technology, every new app, everything.
It has a connection.
Has some sort of connection to AI, and they're super duper proud of it. Google, who just had their huge data centers leaked, is talking about how, you can have this artificial intelligence in your phone and it'll do everything for you. It's weird.
They don't have enough data security for me.
They don't. They just got hacked in a really big way.
I think in my generation, there's not enough information that people have grasped. There's also fear mongering because they're saying they're going to take your customer service jobs and all of you low-level workers better be afraid and scared and where you're going to work. And then there's also the ploy about how to use AI to generate income. So some people, because it's been prophesied about for a decade or more about a wealth transfer. So some people believe that this is one resource where the wealth transfer is going to come come in through, and so they're inviting people to join them, and you can make $200 doing this, or you can flip money, do this, and sign up for my class, and this type of thing. I'm not really buying into it because, number one, I don't know if it's a multi-level marketing type of business model or not. I haven't looked at it closely enough. Any of the ones that are being presented as this is a moneymaker or a wealth transfer type of opportunity, I don't know. I haven't looked at it close enough. I'm still asking questions, so I don't have the details. I don't want to speak for or against.
It's giving upwardly mobile, triangular shaped business plan. Is what it's giving.
Yeah,
My main question is, what do you think the long-term implications are of people turning off their brain and outsourcing their thinking to these machines?
I think it's bad. I think it's bad to turn your brain off, to not critically think about anything. I tell people to use your critical thinking when you're reading scripture. And with the help of the Holy Spirit, let's get this revelation. Let's get this illumination. I tell people not to check out, but to fully engage.
Yeah.
And so I think people are putting their brains on vacation and just eating what's fed to them. Just, receiving the propaganda forced at them.
Yeah.
And I also see people just choosing sides, whether it's their political liking or not, and that's the way they're governing their lives. So if somebody who is pro your political ideology or belief system, you believe what they tell you, you'll eat what they feed you. And then somebody who's opposite to that, you'll reject what they tell you and reject what they feed you. And I don't think we should gauge what we receive and what we feed off of and the way we develop by any political ideology. Because when the cameras go away and nobody's broadcasting, whether you're a Democrat or whether you're Republican,
they all go to the same place.
They all go to the same place. They all mesh and run together, and they're all friendly faces. But when the cameras are rolling, they're fighting like a bunch of junior high school, middle school students that just can't get along.
They're boyfriends.
It's crazy. You would trust people who say that they're on the party of your choice. Like, no, I'm not leaving it to chance or into anybody else's hands. We have to be more proactive to take responsibility for what we believe, what we ingest, and what we allow into our lives and our lifestyles.
Exactly. Does the Constitution not begin with we the people? We have a lot more power than you would think we do. And if you see what's going on in, Bangladesh, I think that just recently overthrew the government. Nepal did. They dragged their prime minister naked through the streets.
Not naked.
In his underwears, in his skivvies, they were quite literally carrying him.
Wow.
Prime minister, and he had to resign because the government had been corrupt for a while and they started killing kids. Trigger warning, we started killing kids. And they were like, we're not going to stand for this. Rioted, overthrew the government. They also shut down the social media, which they didn't like.
You can really gauge the morale, the ethics, and values of a society by the way they treat children and those who are innocent or dependent. So that could be seniors, that could be people who have disabilities. Yeah, you can really gauge where they are and trajectory. So I'm glad they stood up for children. I mean, that whole overtaking thing was a little weird, but I mean, they did what they had to do. They felt desperate. As you got to go.
It's been a corrupt government for a while. There had been unrest building for a while, just like how unrest is building for us. But apparently everybody's too pumped to get out there in the streets. No, I like seeing all the protests happening. I love it.
I don't know what protests do anymore.
We're going out there on the streets, Mom. We're going to get our Black Lives Matter t-shirts and we're going to be right out there with the signs and everything.
My Black Lives Matters without me marching and without me being on the street. I went to one march in my life. It was during COVID and it was against like police brutality or whatever. I was in Charlotte. I went to Charlotte, as a matter of fact, to do it. So I one and done.
That's not your ministry? That's fine. Not everybody is in front of in the streets thing. There's lots of support positions behind that.
One and done.
I couldn't go because I live with a pregnant woman.
Oh.
And we weren't playing about safety and kids and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So.
You did hunker down and just shut in.
Yeah.
I limited where I had to go, during the pandemic and all, but I didn't really.
I kind of miss it.
Shut in completely. Because sometimes you have social anxiety, so that was right up your alley.
Sometimes I don't want to be around you.
I'm shutting in, or I'm,
Now I can wear the mask and I can talk to myself in peace with nobody giving me any weird looks. Amazing.
It was so funny. I was staying with your grandma at the time during the pandemic. So I woke up and she was at the bottom of the stairs and she was playing Happy Birthday by Stevie Wonder with her cell phone standing at the bottom of the stairs. And I'm looking down, I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? And she was like, it's your birthday. Where's the party? Where's the party at? In the living room, ma'am.
We're social distancing.
We're social distancing. We're hunkering and we're in the living room. That's where the party is. It was so hilarious. But she was sweet to me that day. She was like, let's go get a cake. What do you want to do for your birthday? I was like, Mom, I really don't do much. We don't need to. No. She was so hyped about it. So we went to get a cake at Publix. And I was like, let's just get something small. It was just the two of us. And so I picked out a cake. I was like, I'll just get that one. It was like white with some pink ribbons or scribbly, whatever. She was like, no, I need something with the color that pops. I looked.
She's such a diva.
That I know. In true Addie fashion. I need something with the color that pops. I looked. I said, I didn't know we were at New York Fashion Week.
Okay.
She was like, yeah, tell the lady. Yeah, give me that one. It was so funny.
The peaches and strawberries one. I think that's the best one.
Oh, I don't know.
The ones that are like ready made. That one's really good. I don't like the nuts on the side, but that one's really good.
Yeah. Some of Publix cakes are good. I love the challah that they make at Publix. They do a good job with challah.
Yeah.
I buy challah from Publix
delicious.
sometimes. But Harrisita has a great challah as well. They get it from somewhere else. I think it's shipped from New York. I think one package I bought had New York on it. But yeah.
Publix bakes all of their bread in store.
They do. I
like
put
90% of it.
If you put in an order for challah, if they don't have any, on hand, they'll make it for you. And so I found that to be really good. Now we're talking about cakes and bread and all these things.
It's a very important topic. We should revisit it. I love dessert. Best meal of the day.
That's hilarious. So yeah, that's us. Everything everywhere according to us, and the pros and cons of AI versus us. So tell us what you think. I want to know, is this the great pathway, AI, the great pathway to the wealth transfer, or are you still reading, learning, and engaging to see what the pros and cons are and what side you're going to be on? Let us know. We'll be back again to talk about something interesting.
Probably more desserts. I'm hungry. Two very important movie references about this topic: the movie WALL-E with the little yellow robot, and the movie I, Robot with Will Smith. Because yes,
you may need to brush up.
You definitely need to brush up. And those two, I think, specifically I, Robot more than WALL-E, really talk about things. I think WALL-E touches on the environmental aspect of AI and robots and things like that, and I, Robot touches on the oppression and how easily the robots were turned against us.
Now,
so
yeah,
what?
And so I'm not a believer who's against science. To me, science and the supernatural do not disagree.
They go hand in hand.
They go hands in hand. He's omniscient, right? Omniscience, omniscient, the Most High is. And so I just believe when there's extortion or exploitation or carelessness or greed, perversion, any of those things, corruption is where we have a problem. Okay? It's the contamination with things that may start on, the effect on society at large, where there is concern. Okay? So we love you real good, and we'll see you back here before you know it. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.